Good morning, my people. Good morning. Good morning. What is going on, everybody? Thank you very much for being here. This is it. Final day of 2024. Hopefully, everybody's getting ready to wrap up 2024 and get ready for the new year. Thank you for being a part of the show. Tuesday, December 31st at 8 a.m. Good morning. Good morning. We'll let people work their way in here. Hope you're enjoying your cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is that gets you going in the morning. Trevor Lane threw me off yesterday. He does energy drinks. I haven't done an energy drink in a long time. I don't think I could do energy drinks. Thank you for being a part of the show. All right, quote of the day today. When your inner and outer worlds harmonize, your relationships do too. That's a great quote right there. When your inner and outer worlds harmonize, your relationships do too. All right, perfect. Hopefully everybody's off to a good start this morning. We got a great show lined up for you. We got a lot of different topics to get into. Looking forward to doing tonight's show, or looking forward to do today's show. Really good game tonight as well. Lakers taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, we're gonna get into the topics in just a second. If you're here and you're hanging out, and you've been doing so here over the course of, today is going to be 3 months in the books. I started October 1st, so we're going to be 3 months into the books on the Sliwa Show. Obviously, been doing everything else in regards to post-game shows and everything else. But at least since I left 710 ESPN, we're 3 months in the books. Man, very, very happy with the channel. Very, very excited for 2025. And I appreciate you guys hanging out as much as you guys have since I started the show Monday through Friday. And certainly it's helped build the channel, and it's very encouraging to see that. So thank you very much. All right, let's get a couple people here. Good morning, Slee. Good morning. Happy New Year. Good morning to you as well. Thank you very much. Good morning, Slee. About to go get your coffee, Victor. Go get your coffee, my brother. Happy New Year, Al. Yeah, I don't understand BC. Well, why does BC keep coming at SD? BC, what's going on here, man? Hey, what do you have against San Diego? You ever been down to San Diego? It's a pretty damn good city. BC, good morning to you, even though I think you don't like my city. Nick, thank you very much for being a part of the show. Regards from Madrid, Spain. Good luck in your new adventure. Go Lakers. Nick, thank you, brother. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you doing the super right there. And I appreciate you tuning in from all the way out in Spain. Look at this. Good morning from Alaska. It's going to be a good show today. I just tell everybody right now, sometimes – do you ever just kind of feel like, hey, it's going to be a solid show? Nothing too crazy. Nobody's going to go haywire or anything like that. But I just feel like today's going to be a solid show. I'm not sure how many shows are live today. And I wasn't, if you asked me last week, was I going to go live on New Year's or on New Year's Eve? I'd say probably not. But you know what? What is it? A few hours of my day? Let's make it happen. Let's make it work here. All right, let me give everybody a quick rundown that we got going on for today's show. Maybe I also think today's going to be a chill show because I just spent 15 minutes just listening to reggae music before the show started. That could also have something to do with it. No extracurricular activities, just listening to reggae music. All right, we're going to preview the Lakers and the Cavs. This is a phenomenal game tonight. Really, really good game tonight. So I'm going to spend some time talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sammy Long put out a video. I just listened to it this morning, previewing the game. He gave his thoughts on the trade and things like that. But these are sometimes you got a few of these matchups a year where you look forward to, and I'm looking forward to. Lakers are playing better basketball. They're taking on the team with the best record in the NBA. They just demolished the Golden State Warriors last night, so they're going to be on a second of a back-to-back. So we'll spend some time on that. Yesterday, we got a chance to hear from Dorian-Finney Smith. We got a chance to hear from Shake Milton. We got a chance to hear from J.J. Redick. Dorian Finney-Smith's not going to be starting, so we'll talk a little bit about that. I don't think that's going to last. I think that man's going to be in the starting lineup. Shams had said something yesterday that the Lakers still positioning themselves for another trade. We'll get into that. What's left for LeBron James? He turned 40 last night. He says something that he still thinks he could play at an elite level for 5 to 7 years. What's left for LeBron to accomplish? Is there anything else that he can accomplish that would add to his resume or hurt his resume at this point? We'll spend a little time on that. College football playoff continues today. You know what I think I'm doing tomorrow? Can I tell everybody? I think I'm going to the Rose Bowl tomorrow. Yeah, I've been dying to go to like one of these big college football games. I actually didn't even know Ohio State and Oregon was here in Pasadena. I'm in Pasadena today. I'm here till tomorrow. I got to head back down to San Diego tomorrow night. But I'm telling my girl, I'm like, yeah, I want to go to a big college football. Do you know there's one about 2 miles away from the condo? So I'm going to go to the Rose Bowl tomorrow. But we'll talk a little about college football players, and then there's some updates here for Roki Sasaki for all those baseball fans out there that. I mean, if I'm talking to primarily a SoCal audience, about 50% of the audience that's on here is from California. And, I'm sure a lot of Dodger fans, Padre fans, whatever the case is, everybody wants to know what the hell Roki Sasaki is going to do. There's a little bit of an update there, and we'll keep things rolling. Okay, let's get the show started. Good morning again to you. Nice cup of coffee. Nice cup of coffee today. All right, let's get things started here. Lakers taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I was I know I was mentioning this about certain matchups, but I've done this a couple times before. And both times that I did it, I just want to warn everybody here. If the Lakers lose tonight, put it on my back. I want you guys to sit back and I want you guys to say, Sliwa, this one's on you. If they win, then we're fine. Nothing else happened. There were a couple times this year that I talked about the Lakers, how important it was going to be for barometer games, I like to call it. I like barometer games. I like games that we can look at. We could look at this Lakers team and we could say to ourselves, all right, man, it's a good test. Maybe it's on the road. Maybe it's at home, whatever the case is. Now, if I'd have told you before the season started that the Cavs were going to be a barometer game, you would have said, hey, Slee, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know what, Al? I'm actually going to unsubscribe to the channel. But if I told you that the Cleveland Cavaliers are sitting at 28-4 on the season, they've won 7 games in a row. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. They have the best record in the association. If I'd have told you that before the season started, I think most people would have said, what the hell are you talking about? You must be talking about the Boston Celtics. You must be talking about one of these other teams, because that's certainly not the case. They are incredible. They are really, really good. I'm going to give them all the credit in the world, because to accomplish that, do I think I'll get into it a little bit later if they can, beat a team like the Celtics or the Knicks or one of these other squads, because there's a lot of good teams, at least there's top-heavy teams in the Eastern Conference right now. But this is a great, great barometer for the Lakers because, A, they're playing good ball. Lakers won 5 of their last 6 games, 6 of their last 8. All of a sudden, they have an identity that's on the defensive side. Then you just went out and made a trade that I think a lot of Laker fans feel good about. D'Angelo Russell is gone, whether you're a fan of him or you are not. You're now even more, that identity is even more solidified, as in you've become a team that's more a defensive presence. Dorian-Finney Smith, Shake Milton, they'll get opportunities played tonight. I just saw a tweet here before actually I went on the show. New Lakers, Dorian-Finney Smith and Shake Milton have been cleared to make their team debut tonight versus the Cavs, sources tell ESPN. All physicals have been complete for the 4-player Lakers-Nets trade. That's from Shams Charania of ESPN. So you got these players that are going to be there. I love this. I mean, I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to tonight's game, because all these circumstances that I just said, and that the Cavs are absolutely balling. Just to kind of add another layer to this, Lakers also got their asses kicked by the Cavs. I don't know if you guys remember that game. It was early in the year. I want to say it was the 5th game of the season. They lost 134-110. They just got outplayed, period. I mean, nobody really from the Lakers that you kind of looked at that team. And I think we're still trying to figure out what the Lakers were. I mean, hell, at that time, D'Lo was still in the starting lineup. So that's how different this team is. D'Lo not a part of the team anymore. But give them a ton of credit. Give the Cavs a lot of credit. I love barometer games. I've done this a couple times before. I think I said barometer game against Denver. They lost. I think I said barometer game against Phoenix. They lost. I think I've done it for those 2 games. I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm not going to do barometer games anymore. This one to me has all the makings of, hey, let's see where the Lakers are. Let's see what they're all about. Let's see if the Lakers can close out the year with a win against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who've been fantastic. I don't even know. I was looking at this a little bit earlier, and I'm not even sure if I could see it in the NBA standings. They haven't lost to the Western Conference. I think all 4 of their losses, if I'm correct here, the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm going to look real quick on the schedule. They've got a loss against Miami, 2 losses against Atlanta. That's random. And then a loss against the Boston Celtics. They're undefeated against the Western Conference. So that's what the Lakers got tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. A lot of good momentum right now around the Lakers. Last night I got a chance, if you guys got an opportunity to see it, was on Spectrum Sportsnet and was doing the TV show with Chris McGee, was doing it with Mike Bresnahan, and we were talking about the upcoming game and everything else. And there's just there's a good vibe right now around the Lakers, and it's a good vibe because, like I said, they have an identity. They've been winning some games. I know they fell back in the NBA standings, but that had nothing to do with them. Denver had to win. Clippers had to win. So they're technically, by the book, they're 7th right now in the Western Conference, but they're a half game from being in 5th. I think Dallas is starting to fall a little bit. Houston's lost a couple games in a row. Memphis, we'll see what happens with Ja Morant. I think he left the game. So the point I'm trying to make is there's good momentum, and then here you got the best team in the NBA that's coming into your house. So I'm really, really looking forward to tonight's game. And I'm really looking forward to see what the Lakers can do against a solid team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, and let's see what the Lakers can do. So with all that said, and with all that in mind, I will say this, and I think there's a couple things I just want to real quick on the Cavaliers, and then I'm going to look at some of your comments, and then we're going to keep the show rolling. This Lakers team, I do think, is a completely different team. I think whatever our perception was for the Lakers a month ago, take it away. Because the team that was losing, and we know they were losing, the team that was losing to the Denver Nuggets, the Miami Heat, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Phoenix Suns, go down the list. Listen, have they had some losses too? Yes, they lost to the Pistons. Sure, that's going to happen. That's going to happen in any season. You're going to lose to teams that you probably should. And by the way, you lost to Detroit twice. Maybe you're not supposed to beat the Pistons. Maybe that's just a bad matchup for you. But I do think that getting a chance for the first time to see some of these new players as well, there should be a little bit of a buzz at Crypto tonight. Couple things on the Cavs, and then I'm going to keep things moving here. I want to talk about Lakers starters and how Dorian Finney-Smith's not going to be a starter. Okay. You guys believe in the Cavs? I mean, if I look at the standings, then I should, if I said to you, if I took the names off, if I said, hey, there's a team in the NBA that started the season out through the first 32 games, they only have 4 losses. Would you say, okay, well, that team's obviously, that's going to be the team? I would think it's Boston, number 1. And I would also tell you that, okay, that's the team that is going to represent the Eastern Conference. I'm not sold on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm not. Now, I'm going to give them a lot of credit. Like I said, I think there's a lot of things to speak positive about if you're a Cavs fan, or a lot of things to feel good about if you're a Cavs fan. But here's my problem. If you told me right now, Cavs Celtics 7-game set, who are you taking? I'm taking the Boston Celtics. If you told me right now, Cavs Knicks in a 7-game set, I think I'm taking the New York Knicks. Now, those are probably Bucks, I don't trust. Philly, we know where they are. Miami, I don't trust. All these other teams in the Eastern Conference. I mean, I will tell you, if Orlando was healthy, they've been so impressive what they've been able to do with all these injuries that they have. But they have just a ton of injuries. So I was looking at the Cavs, and I'm like, all right, well, how the hell does this team only have 4 losses? I was looking at some of the team stats for the Cleveland Cavaliers compared to the rest of the NBA. Points per game. You guys know how I feel about teams that are just dependent on offense, but let me just kind of break this down for you. Points per game, 2nd in the NBA at 122. All right. Assists per game, 5th in the NBA. Keep going here. Field goal percentage, 1st in the NBA. 3-pointers made in the NBA, 3rd. 3-point percentage, 1st. All these stats I'm throwing your guys' way, they're all offensive stats. For me, when I look at squads, if they're just offensive, let me give you an example. The Oklahoma City Thunder have they're the number 1 defensive rated team in the NBA. I'll take my chances with the Oklahoma City Thunder because they can get stops. The Lakers, the reason why I think they've turned things around, they can get stops. They're more of a defensive team now. Their identity is not on offense. Offensive rating in the NBA, Cleveland Cavaliers, number 1. Now, the one thing I will say that I'm going to give them a lot of credit for, I'm going to give the Cleveland Cavaliers a lot of credit for, it's not like they're sitting 18th in the NBA defensive rating. They're actually 7th. So as great as they are offensively, to have a top 10 defensive team as well, that part is pretty impressive. But I guess it's going to be one of those teams I'm just not sold on. I don't think you can compete for an NBA championship if Donovan Mitchell is your number one option. That's your number one player. I'm going to be curious to see. I was telling this to, I think I was telling this yesterday. It was off air with Chris McGee. I was like, why don't they just go all in? NBA trade deadline's coming up, February 6th. Go all in. What the hell do the Cavs got to lose? Go all in and go get a wing that you can now say we can go up to the Boston Celtics and we could go mano a mano against them because of, their great wings that they have. So we'll see what the Cavs end up doing, but hopefully that just gives you guys an idea. They're prolific offensively. They put up points. They're great in three-pointers, all that stuff, but they are top 10 defensively. That part is impressive to me. That's not something that I was, expecting when I was doing some of my research on them. Listen, I'm a research guy. I'm a respected journalist, damn it. No, but I think that part's impressive, and we'll see what the Lakers got going up tonight against the Cavs. I think the game should be really, really fun, and we'll see how things turn out. All right, let me get a couple of comments in here, and then we're going to go into starters and everything else. All right, let's keep going here. Hey, Alan, I asked Jovan when he had you about a potential one-on-one basketball between you and him. Yep. What would you say about boxing? Those uppercuts we saw look deadly to me. Guess would be no question there. Janos, thank you for coming on. Listen, most people right now in the game, they don't know me as somebody who covers the Lakers. They know me as a guy. I go 12 rounds. Guys, I spar 7 rounds before I go to bed. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times I eat raw meat. I think everybody knows me for that. So it's not even a question. And if you see Jovan, you tell him. I don't know where the hell I'm going with this. All right, let's get a couple basketball ones in here. Let's get a couple basketball. Cavs are clearly legit. They blow teams out with Mitchell only averaging 23. He scored 70 points in the game. They have lineup versatility as well. I will tell you this. One thing that I was looking at with some of their stats, they're balanced. Donovan Mitchell gives you 23. Darius Garland gives you 20. Evan Mobley gives you 18. Jared Allen gives you 13. Karis LeVert gives you 12. Ty Jerome gives you 10. They got 6 guys in double figures every single night. That's a great balance. That's a really, really good balance. Listen, if I'm not a believer, that's just because, I got to see it in the playoffs. I got to see guys like this make a real run, and that's why I'm not a believer. But it doesn't mean they can't get to the finals. I would just be shocked because I do feel like everybody's chasing the Boston Celtics. So it gives you a little bit of an idea there. All right, let's get a couple more here. And then, again, I do want to talk about the starting lineup. All right, a couple people want to talk about Vando. We'll get into Vando in a second here. I'll do Vando next just because that clearly is somewhat of news. Earlier Cavs loss hopefully fuels for a Lakers win. What time is the Lakers game tonight? 6:00 tonight. Obviously, because of the new year here, they're trying to get this thing out of the way and keep things moving. All right, one more here, and then we'll keep things moving as far as topics go. If Lakers beat the Cavs when it's DFS first game back, damn, that'd be a good sign. I'm really, really excited with this roster that the Lakers have. And I don't think they're done. And I really do think they're going to make another move. If you said, Al, all right, what are the chances the Lakers make him? If you guys remember this, a couple of days ago, we were sitting back and I said I would be absolutely shocked. I don't think it's going to happen that the Lakers don't make a move. I think it's impossible that they don't make a move. They made one before we got to January 1st. I think part of the reason why they made one so early, so they can also kind of recalibrate of what the team looks like, what the roster looks like. They already know what they need. They need a bruiser, period. They need another big man. That's going to obviously be key. So I'm with you. If they win tonight, it would just kind of it would continue to increase the hype around the Lakers. It would continue to increase the Lakers got a little bit of a shot here in the Western Conference, but they still got to go improve that roster. Okay, real quick here, because we saw the news yesterday Let me just do this here real quick because a lot of people are already talking about it. Jared Vanderbilt participated in non-contact practice yesterday. All right. I'm going to read a quote here. This is from JJ Redick. Here's what JJ Redick said. Vando was able to get on the court for some non-contact stuff, parts of practice today, so he's trending in the right direction. Dan Wojcicki of the LA Times said that nothing is imminent in terms of a return for Vando, but progress is progress. I am not going to worry about Jared Vanderbilt. I'm not. To be honest with you, if the dude is just getting on the court now and is doing non-contact, that doesn't make me think that he's coming back in the next week or so. That makes me think he still's got a ways to go. Listen, just to have a conversation that's not a setback for Jared Vanderbilt is great news, but I'm also not going to hold my breath. Guys, we're about to get into January 1st. February 1st, I think that was the day Lakers played the Celtics last year, is when he got injured in Boston. No LeBron, no AD that game. If you guys remember, Lakers won that game out of nowhere. If you guys remember, that was 11 months ago. We still haven't seen Jared Vanderbilt. So I'm not going to take news that says Vando was able to get on the court for some non-contact stuff, parts of practice today, so he's trending in the right direction. I'm not going to get excited about that. I'm going to be excited that the Lakers got Dorian-Finney Smith. I'm going to be excited that, guys like Cam Reddish can roll up their sleeves and say, I could give you some minutes if you need me to. But I'm not going to get excited about Jared Vanderbilt because if he's just getting on the court now and there's no contact being made with other players, it's not like, they say, hey, he was a part of 3-on-3 and he was great in there and he looked good and he felt good. And then here's a mic in front of Jared Vanderbilt and he's telling everybody, guys, I'm getting pretty close. No, it was, there's a sighting and we'll keep it and, we'll leave it at that. So I'm going to worry more about the players that the Lakers do have. To be honest, if you told me, hey, by February 1st, February 15th, Jared Vanderbilt is back or he's on the court or whatever the case is, and he's really now part of 5-on-5s and something like that, then that's a different conversation. Then we could start talking about what the rotation looks like with Vando in the lineup. Then we could start talking about who's going to lose minutes because Vando's coming in. Then we could start talking about, hey, with Vando and DFS on the court, how would the Lakers play that defensively? You got two just real game changers on the defensive side with Anthony Davis. But until there's news about Jared Vanderbilt playing 5-on-5 or playing 3-on-3 and they're putting a mic in front of Jared Vanderbilt, I have a very difficult time getting excited about Vando coming back. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer or any of that stuff. I'm just being real. We haven't seen the guy in 11 months. We haven't seen the guy in 11 months. And there have been setback after setback after setback. It's not his fault, injuries are injuries, but I don't want to make news of something because we haven't been in a position where it's really been of any news. So it's difficult for me to kind of sit here today and tell you guys, hey, this is great stuff. Look what's happening. All right, let's keep things rolling here. We'll see if anybody kind of feels the same way on the Vando is the chat superstar. Vando will be end of January at best. I agree. Listen, if he's there February 1st and you got 2 months before the playoffs starts, cool. Sounds good. Take your chances. But at the end of the day, I think for me, why am I going to spend a lot of time talking about Jared Vanderbilt? There's other players on this team that I'd like to talk about, and I have no idea when he's coming back. It's not like they're saying, hey, he's back in 2 weeks. Or it's not like they're saying, here's a mic in front of Vando, and we're hearing from Vando himself saying, guys, I feel great. I feel great. It's only a matter of games before I'm coming back. So I'm going to wait on that front. Okay, let's keep things moving here. Lakers starters. I thought this, if you guys remember, I was talking a little bit about this once they traded for Dorian-Finney Smith. I had done a show with Mark Medina. Yesterday, I did a show with Trevor Lane. I thought Dorian-Finney Smith was going to be in the starting lineup. So I was wrong on that one. Let me read you guys a quote real quick. And actually, I really, really like the quote because I think this says a lot about JJ Redick. Here's what JJ Redick had to say about the Lakers starting lineup. He said, yeah, I already talked to Dorian-Finney Smith about it. We're in a good spot with our starting group right now. So he'll play and he'll come off the bench And like I've told you guys several times, I want consistency with that group, but I'm not going to be stubborn and locked into something if it's not working. That part of his quote is why I like JJ Redick so far as the head coach of the Lakers. But let me keep going here. But it's working right now. And Doe is a guy that can fit in very easily with any lineup and any sort of roster. He's easy. He has a desire to win and compete. And it doesn't matter to him if he's starting or coming off the bench. Okay. Mike Bresnahan, I heard him say this yesterday doing the show. And he said something to the effect that he started over the last 5 or 6 years, his time in Dallas, his time in Brooklyn, 95% of the games he's been a starter. So he's a starter in the NBA. I mean, there's just no other way to put it here. But I got a couple of things on this. Number one, I think by the time you get closer to the playoffs, Dorian-Finney-Smith will be starting for the Lakers. I believe that. When you got a guy that's as good of a 3-and-D player as he is, he's shooting 44% from the three-point line. I think he will be starting, but we'll see what happens. I think there's something about what JJ Redick is saying is we got a starting lineup right now. Max Christie is doing a great job, and you feel good about the minutes that he's contributing right now. Rui Hachimura has been playing good basketball lately as well, so I want to give that guy some credit. You have a team that's winning games. They've won 6 of their last 8. They have an identity on the defensive side. I get the idea of not wanting to change it. All I'm trying to say is I think DFS will work his way into the starting lineup because he's that good of a player. At minimum, I think Dorian-Finney-Smith will be closing out games. So I think there's something about his experience in the NBA. I think there's something about his playoff experience in the league, something about his toughness, something about his knowledge, something about the ability to, obviously hit threes like I was talking about. So I do think when the dust settles, whether he's starting or he's not, I think he'll eventually start. He'll play starter minutes and he'll also close out games. So, and again, I'm going to go back to what I thought was the best quote about JJ Redick. You guys have heard me say this before. One of the things I really, really like about JJ Redick is I don't feel like he's married to anything. Go look at the Lakers so far this year and how many different lineups he used. All right, I'm going to start the season out. D'Angelo Russell's a starter. D'Angelo Russell's coming off the bench. Dalton Knecht is a starter. He's playing big minutes. Dalton Knecht is coming off the bench. Max Christie is riding the pine. Max Christie is starting for the Los Angeles Lakers. He's trying different things. His quote is saying, I'm not going to be stubborn and locked into something if it's not working. That might be, in his first year as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, that might be the best trait that JJ Redick has so far as a head coach in the NBA. Well, I'm going to keep doing this until it works. Yeah, but it's not working. How many different coaches do you see in the NBA that get stuck on one thing? And I don't even have the comments on here right now. A lot of times when I'm going, I'm not looking at the comments because they could be distracting. But I guarantee you somebody is writing or typing right now, or they're putting Darvin Ham in the comments. You're saying, do you mean Darvin Ham with Taurean Prince? Or do you mean Darvin Ham with this player or that player, whatever the case is? Listen, guys, that's not just a Darvin Ham thing. I think a lot of people in life get stubborn. Well, I'm going to do it my way. Yeah, but is your way working? I don't care. It's going to eventually work. It's those that I think probably have the most success, whether it's in your career or at home or whatever the case is. They're the ones that are always trying something new because they're saying, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from that? Let me try this out. Let me try this out. And I think that's, one of the kind of stronger qualities of JJ Redick. With that in mind, I do think Dorian-Finney-Smith's going to get tremendous amount of opportunities. Maybe he doesn't start right out the gate. I mean, the guy just got here. So I think one of the big advantages for the Lakers right now, and one of the smart things that I think that Rob Pelinka did by making this trade so early, you give time for the players to adjust. You give time for the coaching staff to figure it out. It's not February 6th, and you're kind of on this quick race, and you got to win every game because you're sitting in the 10th spot in the Western Conference. I think the Lakers are going to have a little bit of time to figure out what lineups work, what lineups don't, and so forth. So Dorian-Finney-Smith will not be a starter, at least as the Lakers season starts. Okay, let's see Let's see what else we got here. All right, let's see what we got here. First things JJ said when asked about why he'd be a good coach was, I learned from Coach K about adaptivity. It's great. Look, I knew somebody was typing. I don't know if somebody typed this Darvin in before I said what I said, or after, or during. But you don't know. You don't think I know? There's a pulse here for Darvin Ham. I know how people feel. People always go after Darvin. If I say I don't like the college football playoff structure, people say, well, that's on Darvin Ham. Okay. If I say, what the hell's going on with inflation? And like, well, have you seen what Darvin Ham's been doing in Milwaukee? I'm like, guys, that has nothing to do with it. Everything Darvin Ham's fault. All right, let me get a couple more of these in here, and then we're going to keep going. I see a lot of people saying this too. Slee, don't sleep on Shake Milton because he's going to be more than just a throw-in. I see a lot of people saying this about Shake Milton. I don't know enough about him, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. But I've heard a few people. I've had some conversations. People had some conversations yesterday with some folks at Spectrum, and they're like, no, the guy's a good player. He can go out there and kind of instantly get you buckets. He's not going to just be a throw-in. Okay, let's see what it is. I don't know enough about him, so I'm going to let you guys kind of figure that portion. I'm not let you guys. I'm going to just watch Lakers basketball and see what kind of opportunities he gets and take it from there. All right, just a quick reminder here as we get to about halftime here on the show. If you guys can take a quick second here, hit the subscribe button. We are now closing in on 28,000 subscribers. Trying to get to 30,000 here, and then we'll keep things moving. If you are new to the show, welcome. If you've been a part of the show for a while, please subscribe to the channel. It is all I'm asking for now, and it certainly helps grow this channel. So thank you for doing that. I'm jacked for tonight's game. Do some push-ups. Just get it out of your system. Okay, keep things moving here. So you guys see, I'm going to read you guys a quote from Shams Charania. It's a quote out there, and then I got something here on LeBron that I want to get to as well. LeBron actually had some interesting quotes yesterday about this Lakers team. Are they a championship roster right now? The thoughts that he can play for another 5 to 7 years. Can you imagine people sitting back and saying, LeBron in his 27th season in the NBA, it's like saying 22nd season in the NBA is absurd in its own right. All right, I think this backs up a little bit of what I've been saying. Guys, I'm not trying to add some extra hype here. I'm not trying to get you guys overly hyped up about something or blow smoke up your what. I think Lakers are going to make another move. I really genuinely believe still having those first rounders available and other tradable contracts, I think the Lakers are going to make another move. Let me read you. Shams was on yesterday on ESPN. Let me read exactly what he said. And you tell me if this doesn't seem like a team. I think they're going to make a move before this quote, but obviously Shams has tremendous amount of inside information within the NBA. Here's what Shams said. They still do have 3 first-round picks available for trade and tradable contracts as well. I'm told the Lakers will remain one on potential deals looking for players, not only that fit in this current iteration of the Lakers roster around LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but also for next 3 to 4 years under JJ Redick. I'm going to read the quote again for 2 reasons. Number one, I want to make sure that you guys understood the quote. And number 2, I read that like I've never read before, so let's do it one more time. They still do have 3 first-round picks available for a trade and tradable contracts as well. I'm told the Lakers will remain one on potential deals looking for players not only that fit in the current iteration of the Lakers roster around LeBron and AD, but also for the next 3 to 4 years under JJ Redick. Okay, what's he saying there? He's saying this. He's saying 2 things. Number one, what he's saying is, yeah, they can go out there and make another deal. I remember it was Rob Pelinka that was telling everybody in the summer or it was actually, I can't remember if it was in the trade deadline last year or in the summer. I know he had a couple quotes. One quote was, you can't buy a home that's not for sale. But he also said, if we wait till the summer, we're going to have 3 first-round picks we can now shop. They use one of those first-round picks, but they do now have 3 first-round picks they can shop as we get closer to the trade deadline. They're ready to make those. They're ready to use those first-rounders. I'm sure there is a agreement that is just known between LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and that front office. Guys, we do not have enough to compete for a championship. Use your damn first rounders. What do you guys care about rebuilding? It's not like the franchises, the Thunder or the Pelicans, are worried about first rounders every single year. Lakers don't have to rebuild like other teams. They're armed with 3 first rounders, and they got other tradable contracts. Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent. You could look at some of these other players that are on the roster. They're going to make another deal. And they are going to go after, I think, what everybody knows the Lakers need, which is another big. A bruiser is the term that everybody likes to use. I don't think we're going to be sitting here February 6th and saying, that's it. It's the only trade Lakers made. Dorian-Finney Smith, Shake Milton, that's what they're running with. And I think this quote from Shams is powerful to set this up this way as well. This is what the Lakers are looking for. They're looking for a player that's going to help them with LeBron and Anthony Davis, but they're also looking for a player that's going to be around for the next 3 to 4 years under JJ Redick. All right, then you start looking at, okay, what players are they talking about? What players would make sense for the Los Angeles Lakers? To be honest with you, if you're taking that quote from Shams Charania literally, and you're saying, okay, so that means it's got to be a player that is younger. Because if you're saying 3 to 4 more years with JJ Redick, well, the name that we keep hearing is Jonas Valanciunas. Valanciunas doesn't fit under that criteria. That's not a player. And maybe the Lakers do go make a deal for Jonas Valanciunas. But if you're saying for the present and the future, Valanciunas is not part of the future for the Lakers. The one name that keeps coming up, maybe this player, maybe it's not, but I think it's the player that fits the criteria that the Lakers are talking about, or that Shams is talking about. It fits the trying to win right now / a player for the future. It's the player that has been rumored around the Lakers now for how long now? It seems like for at least 6 months or so. I'm talking about Walker Kessler. Now, there was a report out there. Anthony Irwin had put something out that the Lakers are looking at Robert Williams, Nick Richards of the Charlotte Hornets, Brooklyn's Day'Ron Sharpe, and then Walker Kessler of the Utah Jazz. But at least for me, the player that has been talked about the most, obviously Danny Ainge, part of the Utah Jazz, they're going to want at least 1 first-round pick, whatever it is that they're going to be asking for. It's Walker Kessler. That's the name. That's the name that to me sounds like you got a lot of value. You get the big that you're looking for, more of a defensive presence, is averaging a double-double a game, 10-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, a couple of block shots a game. Maybe that's the player. For me, when you're talking about a present and the future, that's the name that comes up to me is Walker Kessler. So whatever the Lakers end up doing, however they decide to use the next 5 weeks between now and February 6th and that trade deadline, I think Shams' quotes are very powerful, and I think the Lakers making a move before January 1st is very powerful. I think the Lakers looking at their roster and looking at where they sit in the scope of the NBA and the scope of the Western Conference, I think you could say, hey, they can win a round or 2, but can they compete with the Boston Celtics or some of these other elite teams? I don't think they're there yet. So I think they're going to have to make a move. And I think it's a great sign that they made a move, because that shows you they're not going to sit around, and it does show you that they're all in. And it also tells you that, hey, those 3 first-rounders that the Lakers have, hey, Rob Pelinka talking about, we have first-rounders that we could shop. He did that, whether it was in the summer or last trade deadline, whenever it was. He's quoted of saying that, and he has not given up a first-rounder yet. Tells me that they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to try to, obviously go out there and find ways to improve that roster. All right, let's take a look here at some of your other comments. By the way, for those that are saying, for those that are if you're thinking of big time players, I just want you guys to know this. The Jimmy Butlers of the world, the Zach LaVines of the world, the Brandon Ingrams of the world. The moment the Lakers traded D'Angelo Russell, you kind of can't make that happen now. That's not going to work. So I just want you guys to know that from D'Angelo's contract, once that contract was gone, it was the negative that left when D'Angelo left, is that his contract, that expiring contract, the 18 plus million, there are a lot of teams that were coveting D'Lo's contract so they can just say, all right, that's off the books. I don't think now you're in the game, for a big time player. I think really what you're in the game for now is more depth. So that's the best way to look at it. I know some people are putting, names on here. They're putting De'Aaron Fox's name out there. They're putting some of these other guys as well. But nonetheless, just from that perspective, I want you guys to know once D'Lo was gone, that kind of ended those opportunities. All right, let's see what else we got here. What up, Sliwa? Lakers win tonight. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Cheers to all of you. My coffee intake when I don't have a guest, completely different. When I have a guest, I could nod my head. I could say absolutely, and then I could enjoy my cup of coffee. When I'm on my own, a lot less coffee being drank. All right, some people not a fan of Kessler. Bring back JaVale McGee. I saw JaVale McGee at a game. Whatever game I was at, was it the last game or the game before? JaVale McGee was in the house. I think he's done, retired. It's over. The Brandon Ingram thing, like I mentioned to you guys, I don't think that's going to happen. Here's another thing that's important to know. Yes, you're right. Walker Kessler is only $2 million. The way the Lakers would try to got to get a contract like Colin Sexton to make the numbers work. So that gives you an idea from that front. So just go there. All right, let's keep going here. Slee, birthday shout out. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Happy birthday to you as well. Thank you for being a part of the show. All right. I think we got some good stuff there. I'm going to read one quick super here, and then I want to get into LeBron from yesterday, some of the quotes that he had. Is D Fox on the trading block, or is that gossip? Oh, I think De'Aaron Fox is going to be in play 100%. I really think he's going to be in play. If he's not in play this year, he's going to be in play in the summer. And there's going to be franchises lined up around the corner trying to get De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is a real player. He's got to be on a real team. He's got to be with a real coach. He's got to be on the right squad. What was the first team that was mentioned when De'Aaron Fox's name, when that report had come out with Rich Paul about, hey, they're kind of in a dangerous territory here, the Sacramento Kings. This is before Mike Brown got fired, by the way. This is before they went on their 6-game, 7-game, whatever losing streak that they were on. The first team that was mentioned? San Antonio. It's going to be a team like that. It's got assets that say to themselves, cool, yeah, we not only want De'Aaron Fox, we're going to give him whatever money that he's looking for. Oh, by the way, we got Wemby that's sitting here. It's going to be the face of the NBA for the next 10 years plus, whatever the case is. Teams will be lining up for De'Aaron Fox. It's going to be tough for the Lakers to try to get a player like that. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw last night or yesterday. Lakers had practice. LeBron obviously turned 40 yesterday. 40 years old for LeBron James. He had some quotes out there, wants to retire a Los Angeles Laker. By the way, all this stuff about he wants to retire a Laker, it's completely up to LeBron. If LeBron wants to retire a Laker, he's going to retire a Laker. Lakers are not, independently shopping LeBron James around. Now, if this season was going to complete shit, and when they were, on that 3-8 stretch, and let's just say hypothetically, they didn't find their identity and the team was collapsing and they were like the Sacramento Kings, maybe, just maybe, LeBron would have decided, all right, that's a wrap. I'm going to move on. Somebody trade me to a team that I can compete with. But it's going to be completely up to him if he wants to retire as a Laker. I'm going to read you the quote from yesterday. I think that's the plan. I would love for it to end here. That would be the plan. I came here to finish the last stage of my career and to finish it off here. Hopefully I don't have to go nowhere before my career is over. Let me tell you this. If you'd have told me when LeBron signed with the Lakers back in, what was that, 2018, 2019, whenever that was, that he was going to be with the Lakers for 7 years. And like, what? 7 years? What are you talking about? Guy's going to be here 4 years, probably 5 years max, and then that's a wrap. He's going to call it a day. Nope, he's still going. And I think it's going to be completely up to him if LeBron obviously wants to retire a Los Angeles Laker. There was a quote here that I thought was interesting. By the way, the only way I could see LeBron leaving is, let me use the Cavs as an example. Lakers got the Cavs coming up tonight. It's got to be a situation where they know they have no chance of competing, and he says, all right, I want to go back to Cleveland. He already has a championship there. They accept him with open arms, and he's going to try to help them win an NBA championship, something like that. Other than that, I think he's staying in LA. Here's what he said. He said, he goes on to say, hope it stays that way. He's talking about he's been happy as a Laker for the last 6 years. I don't have any answers on how long or what uniform, but I hope it's with the Lakers. Actually, you know what? That's a different quote. That was coming during the All-Star game. But the last quote that I'm going to read here from LeBron yesterday. To be honest, if I really wanted to, I probably could play this game at a high level another 5 to 7 years if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. All right, relax, Laker fans. I know Laker fans were like, okay, Bron, I've already heard enough chatter about LeBron where a lot of Laker fans are ready to kind of churn that next page and start that next chapter. Everybody breathe here for a second. I'll tell you this. Obviously, he's not playing for another 5 to 7 years, but I was thinking about this morning. I'm getting ready for the show. And I'm saying to myself, what's left for LeBron? What's left that he wants to accomplish that could either add to his legacy or hurt his legacy? What is left for LeBron? I'll tell you. I'll do my best to kind of explain it. He's already, every single game, it feels like he's breaking some kind of record. Most games played, most minutes played, all-time scoring record. Averaging what he's averaging in his 22nd year. I mean, everything that he's doing is just unheard of. What is left for LeBron to accomplish? I don't think there's anything left individually for LeBron to accomplish. I think the only thing left for Bron, and I think this is the pressure that's on the Lakers to also, and by the way, both sides, it works for both sides. LeBron's trying to compete for one more championship. Lakers are trying to compete for one more championship with LeBron. Let's say LeBron with the Los Angeles Lakers got his 5th NBA championship in the next 2 years. I know. The chances of that happening, very difficult. You got a lot of things to go your way. They got to improve the roster. The team has really got to put themselves in a position. Whatever. Things can happen, but let's just say he was able to accomplish that. How much more would that help his legacy overall of everything that he's accomplished? Personally, I think it would be huge that in your 22nd year in the NBA, if you're looking at LeBron's legacy and people are saying, okay, here's what Kareem did in his career, here's what Michael Jordan did in his career, and here's where whoever you want to put as the greatest of all time. If LeBron was able to win another championship in his 22nd or 23rd year in the NBA, what would that do for his legacy? Okay, wait, so he got 2 in Miami, got the 1 in Cleveland, then he got 1 with the Lakers in 2020, and then 5-6 years later, he got another one, and he didn't have to go ring chasing and join another team and, latch onto a squad and say, all right, I'm only here because you got a good team and I'm trying to win one more championship. I think it would do something for his legacy. I think it would be one of the more powerful things on his resume. It's like, wait a minute. So he started in the league back in 2004. He's got all these individual accomplishments. He got a couple championships with Miami. He got one in Cleveland, and they hadn't won a championship in, Cleveland hadn't won, I think, in 50-something years or whatever it was, and you're counting all their professional teams. Then he got one in 2020 with the Lakers when that franchise was, kind of figuring out before he got there how they're going to be competitive again. Literally the worst stretch of Lakers basketball in the history of Lakers basketball until he got to LA. And then he got one another 5-6 years later. I think it would be a huge accomplishment for LeBron and obviously his legacy. But I also think if it doesn't happen, it also doesn't hurt his legacy. So this idea and concept, playing 5-7 more or something like that, okay, what's the point of that? I think he's going to play this year. I think he's going to play next year. And I think that's it for LeBron. This is not me. There's no insider information there. That's my own personal opinion of how long I think LeBron's going to play in this league. He's played with his son. Every, individual accomplishment that you could think of, he's broke all those records. He's going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. He's going to be a great for 3 different franchises. He's going to be one of the greatest to ever play for the Miami Heat, one of the greatest to ever play for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and one of the greatest to play for the Lakers. If he plays next year, he'll play twice as long as he did with the Miami Heat. He played 4 years in Miami. Next year is 8 years with the Los Angeles Lakers. So I just mentioned all that because I thought he had some interesting quotes. He hit age 40. How much longer is he going to be in the league for? He also said this, he was talking about that the Lakers, as of right now, he does not feel like they're a championship contender, but that there's a lot of upside to this team and this roster. So I think, maybe indirectly, he's also saying to Rob Pelinka in the front office, we're going to need a little bit more if we're going to go out there and we're going to make it happen. And we'll go from there. So kind of a couple interesting quotes from Bron. And I know it's a lot to even think. What do you mean? Lakers are going to win another championship? Okay, we'll see what happens. Right now, I think they're just trying to position themselves in the Western Conference. I still think they're another move away. And then, obviously everybody's got to be healthy from there. All right, let's take a look at some of your comments here. First off here, Northbro, great year, my bro, and all the best in 2025. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super, my man. Thank you to anybody that's hanging out here, whether you're throwing a super out here or you're just commenting. It's very, very much appreciated. So I appreciate you guys doing that. All right, let's see some of the comments here. Imagine a dude playing 22 years and only winning 4 championships. 2 were back-to-back. The longer he plays, the worse it looks. I don't think so. I just don't. I really don't. I think – Let me ask you this question. Do you think it's just on LeBron, or there's a lot of things that have to go? You got to have the right ownership. You got to have the right front office. You got to have the right coach. You got to have the right role players. You got to have another star next to you. Guys, it's not easy to win chips. It's not easy to win championships. Wilt Chamberlain had 1 NBA championship. Wilt, one of the greatest to ever do it, had 1 NBA championship. Let's say Kobe was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. He wasn't drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's say Jerry West did not hide Kobe Bryant, and he didn't come to the Lakers. Okay, what if he won 1 championship and it was in Charlotte? There's certain things you don't have control over. I just think, it was kind of the perfect storm for some of these players. Shaq couldn't get one until he got to LA, and he got 3. And then, obviously got one in Miami as well. I don't think it hurts his legacy at all. I really don't. I think you guys got to really look at what's the team, what's the situation, what's the coaching staff, what's the ownership. It's been a while. I don't know what the over-under has been on me sneezing, but it's been a while. I think there's so much that comes into play. So I really actually think, I really think that there's more to it. All right, Dirk, 1 ring in 20 years. Does that mean Dirk's a bum? Hakeem Olajuwon had 2 rings. He got them when Jordan wasn't in the NBA. Is he a bum? Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone never won an NBA championship. They're Hall of Famers. They're some of the greatest to ever do it. Are they bums? So I mean, to say he only got 4, I don't know about that. To say he only got 4, I don't know if I'd look at it that way. All right, let's see. Bless you. A lot of bless yous. 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 This is a good example too. Robert Horry, 7 rings. So does that make him the greatest to ever do it? All right. Let's keep things going. Let's keep things going here. I got one more thing left in the NBA, and then I got a couple things I'm going to get into, and then we're going to get out of here. So right now, just to give everyone an idea, I don't think I'm doing a post-game show tonight. I know I'm not doing anything live tonight, and I know I'm not doing anything live tomorrow, but I will have some kind of post-game that's just reacting to the Lakers and the Cavs. But I won't go live tonight, but I may give you guys something tonight. It just kind of depends. I'm going out to dinner tonight. There's other stuff that I'm doing. But if I don't get you guys a post-game show tonight, then I'll get you guys a post-game show in the morning, but it will be recorded, and I'll take my time and just talk Lakers basketball like we do. Did you guys see this thing? I never even knew this existed. I swear I never even knew this existed. Did you guys see? I'm going to read this quote here. Russell Westbrook has perfect triple-double in Nuggets win. Have you guys ever heard of a perfect triple-double? I've never heard of it. I don't know what you guys want me to tell you. Maybe I'm late to the game. Maybe I got to do a better job covering the NBA. I've never heard of a perfect triple-double. For those who don't know what it is, because I didn't know what it is until I was reading yesterday, Russell Westbrook became the third player in NBA history to have a triple-double with 0 turnovers and shoot 100% from the field and the free throw line in the Nuggets win over the Jazz, according to ESPN research. Westbrook joins Nikola Jokic, who achieved the feat on October 20th, 2018, and against the Phoenix Suns, the Sacramento Kings star Domantas Sabonis joined the group November 6th against the Raptors. All 3 games were played after NBA turnovers were first tracked in the 77-78 season. Here's Westbrook's line yesterday. He finished with 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. He shot 7-7 from the field and 2-2 from the free throw line. He is the third player to have a perfect triple-double. Have you guys ever heard of a perfect triple-double? I've never heard of that stat in my life. That's kind of interesting, right? We cannot beat Denver. That's what it means. That could, I see where you're going there. 100% field goals, free throws, and 0 turnovers. I love how some people they're still upset at Russ. Westbrook is the perfect clown. They're still upset at Russ. All right. I think people do not care about Russell Westbrook. Oh, this is great. People say, Al, you're losing your credibility. For sure. No, I'm just reading an article that has stats to it on a perfect triple-double. You're right. I just lost all my credibility. Absolutely. Solomon. Jordan would have won 6. Kobe would have won 5. Bill Russell 11 if they played the Warriors in the finals all those years. LBJ 4 rings is incredible. Wouldn't have won 6. Kobe wouldn't have won 5. Yeah, listen, he got 2 in Miami. Probably should have got more. So he had some low points in his career. And then, winning the NBA championship when he was with the Cavs, I think the highest, the pinnacle of his career. And then Kevin Durant was like, I'm going to go play with the Warriors. It's like, all right, the NBA's over. Why are we all playing? There's no point to play. All right, I got 2 more things left here real quick, and then we're gonna keep rolling. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me do Roki Sasaki. I got one thing on college football, and then we're going to call it a day. There was an article that came out yesterday, Alden Gonzalez of ESPN. This is kind of a trip here, Roki Sasaki. The initial list of major league teams that expressed interest in Japanese right-hander Roki Sasaki stretched to 20, his agent Joel Wolf of Wasserman Group said. Here's where we are. The earliest he can make a decision, Roki Sasaki. So obviously there's a lot of Dodger fans that feel really good that Roki Sasaki is going to come there. Might as well cancel the 2025 season if he does come there. By the way, you might as well cancel the season anyways. I don't know who the hell is going to beat the Dodgers. Teams like my squad, the Padres, you're basically like, hey, if they don't get Roki, then they're probably a 500 team next year. I don't know how they're going to compete with some of these other teams in the NL. And then whatever other teams are fighting for Roki as well. I thought this was really interesting of what his agent said. Market size, living dynamics, and even tradition of winning won't be the foremost priority for Roki Sasaki. Here's what he said. He doesn't seem to look at it in the typical way that other players do. His agent saying this, okay? he has a more long-term global view of things. I believe Roki is also very interested in the pitching development and how a team is going to help him get better, both in the near future and over the course of his career. He didn't seem overly concerned about whether a team had Japanese players on their team or not, which in the past, when I represented Japanese players, that was sometimes an issue. That was never a topic of discussion. So if, we're making a lot of ties, hey, Hideo Nomo is part of the Padres front office, and Yu Darvish is on that team. Or if you're looking at the Dodgers and saying, hey, Shohei Ohtani's here and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, all right, well, maybe that doesn't matter to him. Market size doesn't matter to him. What he eventually said was he's going to go back to Japan, and he's going to spend the next couple of weeks kind of narrowing down who's going to be on that list. We know that there were reports out there, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Rangers, the Yankees, the Mets, the Cubs, and the Giants have all met with him. And we're going to see what happens. But I think from what I understand of this article, it really doesn't give you any angle of where he's going to eventually sign. What I think he's going to end up doing is go back to the drawing board, tell certain teams you're out, tell certain teams you're still in, and then they figure it out from there. I also saw, too, in his meetings, he did not want current players to join the meetings, but they were able to, record a video or whatever the case is. Most presentations were about 2 hours long. Man, it's fascinating because you got who many believe. I'm going to read one more quote here. Roki is by no means a finished product. He knows it, and the teams know it. He's incredibly talented. We all know that. But he's a guy that wants to be great. He's not coming here just to be rich or get a huge contract. He wants to be great. He wants to be one of the greatest ever. I see that now, and he's articulated that. And to be that, he knows he has to challenge himself. That's why he's coming early. That's why he's not waiting a couple of years and go to get that Yamamoto contract. This is more similar to what Shohei Ohtani did when he came to the Angels. The only thing I think I've learned here is he's got a chance to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's incredibly young, and he's going to cost you nothing. So, of course, every team is interested. You'll have the big market teams doing everything they can to get him. But I think what makes his situation most interesting is you don't need $300 million to convince Roki Sasaki to come pitch for your team. So that's why I think this makes it so fascinating. Plus, you're going to have him basically under team control for 6 years. So obviously, whatever decision he makes can have a huge impact in the game of baseball, wherever team that he goes. So we'll see what eventually happens there. So that's kind of the latest there on Roki Sasaki. Okay, one other thing that I'm going to get into here, and then we're going to call it a day here. I think Sasaki agent just throwing the scent away from the Hound Dogs. Everything they claim he wants is what the Dodgers are. All right, let's see what else we have here. Clown's still hoping Dodgers don't get Sasaki. Get your meltdown ready. He is a blue all day. Ray, then you are calling me a clown. Of course I don't want him to go there. How many more pitchers do you guys need? You have 39 starters. You got enough. All right? That's enough. You got to share with us a little bit. All right, let's see what we got here. So, Slee, you don't have an issue with LeBron being 4-6 in the finals. If he went 4-10 from the free throw line, he'd be underachieving. I think everything has context. Like I don't know what you want me to tell you. I think he should have won 3 in Miami. Let's put it that way. I think he should have won one more NBA championship when he was in Miami. So probably should have gone 3-1. 5-5 is probably a more accurate presentation of what he should have accomplished in his career. That first championship that they lost to Dallas, I don't think they should have lost, but they did lose. Remember, they were about to lose to San Antonio if the Ray Allen doesn't hit that crazy 3 and the rebound from Chris Bosh. But his first one in San Antonio, do I think they should have won that one? No. When he had to take on the Golden State Warriors, and who got hurt? Kyrie Irving got hurt. Kevin Love got hurt. Well, what do you want him to do? They're not going to win that championship. When Kevin Durant was there, no one was beating the Kevin Durant Golden State Warriors. So I think got to add context to it. And there's some context there. All right, last one I got here, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. College football playoffs. So college football playoffs starts later tonight. Penn State, Boise State. That game, you know what I didn't realize? I didn't actually realize all these now are played. These are all bowl games now. So they're all played at different places. This is how much of an idiot I am. Get ready for this. I'm calling myself out. Yesterday, I'm in Pasadena. And I was driving around, I was actually walking around. I went and got a car wash. Those takes like a half hour. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go walk around, get a little steps in. And I'm walking on one of the main streets, Colorado, which is where they do the Rose Bowl. And I look and I see merch being sold. It says Ohio State and Oregon. I'm like, why is there merch being sold here? Isn't the game in Oregon? I just assumed the new playoff structure. We know they had home games in the first round. I'm like, oh, so they still have home games. There's going to be home games for this game as well. I'm like, but why are they selling merch here? Ohio State, Oregon. I wasn't putting the pieces together. Okay. A couple weeks ago, I'm at a Lakers game. This is how much of an idiot I am. Maybe about a week and a half ago. Allie Clifton, you guys know, works for Spectrum Sportsnet. She's originally from Cleveland. She's originally from Ohio. I don't know if she's from Cleveland specifically, but I know she's an Ohio State fan. And I think it was right after Ohio State won their first playoff game. And she said to me, she's like, are you going to the Rose Bowl? Because I was talking about Ohio State. I'm like, no, I'm not going. And in my head, I'm like, why would I go to the Rose Bowl? Like, I forgot completely about the Rose Bowl. Until yesterday, last night, like a dumbass, did I just realize that Ohio State and Oregon are playing each other 2 miles from where I am right now. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna make that happen. I've been like thirsty to go to a good college football game, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I fly to Georgia? Like, how am I gonna get out to one of these great games? I'm going to go tomorrow to Ohio State, Oregon. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I don't have to fly to Oregon for that. So great news, guys. I don't know if you guys know this. There's a bowl game here in LA, and it's right down the street. So I'm going to go to that. All these other college football games, Penn State, Boise State tonight. And then tomorrow there's going to be 3 games. Texas, Arizona State, I don't really care that much. Ohio State, Oregon, badass game. Ohio State can win that game. Notre Dame, Georgia to close it out at 5:45 tomorrow night. So that should be fun. Looking forward to it. And that's all we got there. All right, final thing, and I know I mentioned this before. Tomorrow or tonight, Lakers got the Cavs. Still figuring out what I'm going to do post-game show-wise, but just know 100% I'm going to have reaction to the Lakers and the Cavs. It will either come tonight or it's going to come tomorrow morning. But I'll make sure to get you guys' reaction to the game and make sure you guys are covered. Thursday, live show 8 a.m. Friday, live show 8 a.m. I'm back on Thursday morning at 8 a.m. with a live show. I will not do a live post-game show tonight, and I will not do a live show tomorrow morning. I'm going to have New Year's Eve off and in the morning or New Year's Day off as well. But I'm going to get recorded content up so you guys can still watch. So I'll make sure that you guys have something. My reaction. I'm excited about the game. It's going to be a fun game tonight against the Cavaliers. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being here. What do we go? 1 hour and 8 minutes? Overtime here. Overtime. Here's the new rule. If I go overtime, each and every one of you guys have to write me a check and send the check. I'm going to give you guys an address, but basically you guys all have to pay me hourly the moment I go over overtime. All right, just playing with you guys. Have a great New Year's Eve. Be safe tonight. Obviously, if you're going to go out, you're going to go drinking and everything else, be smart about it. Make sure you got a designated driver. Make sure you're using Uber or Lyft or one of those others. Be smart tonight. It's not exactly the greatest night to be out driving around, so please be smart tonight. I will talk with you guys soon. We'll have reaction coming soon. Thank you very much for being a part of the Sliwa Show. Thank you very much for being a part of this channel in 2024, and we're looking forward to great things in 2025. Happy New Year to everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon, and hope you guys have a great, great night and enjoy your New Year's. Thank you, everybody.